Good evening. It's wonderful to be back with you once again, isn't it, Ronnie?
Indeed it is. And in a packed programme tonight, we shall be talking to two Oriental gentlemen who went into the drainage business and next week opened their first Chinese soakaway.
We'll also be meeting Joe Muffin, the world's silliest chef, who boiled a hyena yesterday and made himself a laughingstock.
But first, the news. A breakfast meeting to discuss détente got off to a bad start today when President Reagan emptied a jug of orange juice over Mr. Brezhnev's head. The Soviet leader responded by ramming 2 bananas up the president's nostrils. The spokesman described the atmosphere as tense but fruitful.
The golden age of steam returned to King's Cross Station today when the hot drinks vending machine on platform 5 exploded.
And we've just had news of an enterprising escape from the top security jail for small offenders serving short sentences. 15 of them in a chain gang managed to get through the front gate disguised as a charm bracelet.
Finally, it was revealed in a government survey published today that Margaret Thatcher is doing the work of 2 men, Laurel and Hardy.
But now a sketch featuring Mr. Ronnie Corbett, a man who began his show business career as Nicholas Parsons' getaway driver. Yes, yes, thank you. Yeah, I'm sure. Yes.
Oh, hello. Hello, Grail.
Hello.
I've just been hearing on the grapevine that you've just been to Africa.
Oh, yes, awfully hush-hush, though, old man, yes.
Really?
Yes, I really can't talk about it, actually.
Come on, you can tell me.
No, I mustn't, really.
Come on, what have you been doing?
No, I'm sorry, no. I'd rather change the subject, if you don't mind.
How are the children?
Oh, drilling for oil in the Congo, actually. That's what I've been doing, actually. Drilling for oil in the Congo, yes. Very hard work. Very hard work. Well, I mustn't talk about it, though. I've said too much already.
Well, I understand. How's your charming wife?
On the job, 16 hours a day. No, I was at the Congo, yes, on the rig, yes. Oh, but the conditions are absolutely vile, you know. Oh, the jungle out there is so hot and steamy. Oh, but I mustn't. No, I'd rather really not discuss it.
Oh, right, well, I understand. Very nice wine, this, isn't it?
Stinks of elephant dung.
Really?
No, I mean where I am in the jungle. Oh, absolutely awful. And as for the insects, of course, well, no, mustn't. I promised I wouldn't, and I'm not going to.
Oh, right. I understand.
Yes.
Well, you're looking smart, whatever.
Thank you.
Very nice trousers.
Flies are appalling.
I didn't notice, honestly.
No, the flies out in the jungle, boy. Yes, absolutely. Boy. Oh, awful. Yes, we've been drilling away for a while, you know, and last week we sank. I mean, I don't want to boast about this, but we did sink. No, I mustn't tell you. No. I promised I wouldn't.
Come on, what did you say? You
I'm
can
sorry,
tell
no, my lips are sealed. No. Mum's the word.
Graham, do you know what you are?
Just about the biggest bore the oil world has ever known.
That's right. You've got
Good evening. My name is Algernon Dinge, and I am a vet. I'm a fully qualified practitioner and a member of the Royal College of Veterinary Surgeons. I have a degree in zoology, and at present I work as a consultant at the Royal Beak, Trunk and Gullet Hospital, Bloomsbury. I have been asked to talk to you tonight about the care and treatment of sick animals. Now, what happens, for instance, if you think your dog needs stronger glasses? Well, send him along to me, and I will test his eyes with this chart here. If he fails the eyesight test, of course, he will have to make do with a provisional dog license. Now, over here, follow me over here, is a diagram of a horse that died in very unusual circumstances. To a trained specialist like myself, the cause of death here is obvious immediately. Someone sawn the poor beggar in half. First, cats. Now, here is a letter from a lady in Bromsgrove who writes, "Dear Dr. Dinge, my little cat Tiddles, what can I do about it?" Here's another one. You see, an identical one here from a gentleman in Biggleswade. "My puppy dog, Rover, keeps doing big jobs on the floor of the sitting room." And I don't mean reupholstering the sofa. Further to your suggestion, I tried rubbing his snout in it, and now, in addition to doing big jobs, he blows his nose on the carpet as well. Well, of course, eventually they'll grow out of it. Or if they don't, rhubarb will. Now, if you have got a dog, you should always make sure it has a nice, healthy coat, and above all, try to avoid distemper. Anyone who gives his dog a coat of distemper is asking for trouble. What about psychiatric problems? Well, here we see a very withdrawn tortoise. See? Now, if we wish to coax it out, we have to treat it just like a human being, with affection, gentleness, and understanding.
Okay, you lousy bum, we know you're in.
That sort of thing is absolutely a waste of time. Now, over here, we have a much more successful case. There we are. A snail that's been taking Valium. As you can see, it's managed to completely unwind. Now that brings me to rabbits. Now, breeding rabbits is easy. It's not breeding, and it's difficult. So if you've got more than enough rabbits, just write to me, and I'll send you my frank leaflet on voluntary birth control in rabbits, entitled "The Buck Stops Here." And to help you, here is a rough model. Oh, upside down. That was a model upside down. Now, in this tin here, we have a frog with hiccups. Very simple to cure. We just give it a sudden shock. Hedgehogs. Now, hedgehogs can be something of a pest. They get their name, of course, because they are a type of small hog, and they live in a hedge. Titmice aren't much fun either. Now, in my job, I'm often called out to attend to cases on farms. The other day, I had to go to a bird sanctuary in Sydenham to deal with a sex-crazed goose. He kept having a gander over next-door neighbour's wall. I also had to treat a duck who'd given himself a hernia trying to hatch a golf ball. And then there was the very disturbing case of the nymphomaniac sheep. Now, I wasn't able to cure her, but I did use the wool to make the world's first sleeveless pushover. Now, a lot of people often ask me what to do about frustration in cows. Well, complain to the Isle of Wight Tourist Board. That's the best thing. Now, lastly, we come to animals in zoos. Now, even in a zoo, correct diet is essential, or the effect can be devastating. Now, here, for instance, we see a boa constrictor that's been eating far too many sausages. Here, we have an armadillo that's been fed entirely on sliced bread. Finally, animal husbandry, like the rest of industry, has to move with the age of technology. And already, British Leyland have developed a new prototype which could revolutionize our battery farms. And here it is. The new chicken hatchback. Engineered entirely at Leyland's plant in Longbridge, you can already see the rust underneath the wing. So, in conclusion, please remember, the animals need the utmost care and tenderness. And failing this, try a little mustard or cranberry sauce. Good night.
Her next door's husband's rambling again. Oh, dear. Is he violent? Oh, no, I mean he's hiking. He's gone off up the downs with two young girls from a drains department. I'm surprised she lets him go. Oh, she says he's too old to chase women up mountains. I don't know, you get a man up a mountain with two girls wearing them little shorts. They're bound to come down sooner or later. Well, this is maybe, isn't it? She says the only trouble with his hiking all these years is made his feet enormous. Yeah, his feet are so big, he has to put his trousers on over his head. I'd like to see that. You better go up the mountain with him.
Singing He Made Me Laugh, please welcome Marty Webb.
We didn't dance or kiss at all last night. We had no wine, and it rained and rained. Still it worked out fine. What he did meant much more to me. He made me laugh. That's all he did last night. Yes, that's it. First time in a year. It didn't hurt a bit. Since he left, I haven't felt right till last night. had such fun, and so did he. And he called today, and he said to me, since she left, he hasn't felt right till last night. Made me laugh and laugh. I had such fun, and so did he. And he called today, and he said to me, since she left, he hasn't felt right till last night. Last night.
Kidnapping on the high seas. The mystery of the disappearing all-girls band, one of the most unusual crimes ever to completely outwit our two lethargic heroes, Charlie Farley and Piggy Malone. A cruise liner, already in the Mediterranean with two detectives aboard, is the unlikely venue of this weird and baffling mystery. Piggy Malone, as always, was completely clueless, but Charlie Farley believed that a drug was being administered in the food the girls of the orchestra ate during the interval, and was even now taking steps to obtain a little evidence.
Hey, I'm putting my finger in that pool. Okay, do you want to break it?
Piggy, meanwhile, in another part of the ship, is searching the bars for a suitable guinea pig to try the drugged food, to see if it really does relax the victim sufficiently to agree to anything. He is even now approaching a large redhead, pretending he thinks she is one of the orchestra, only to find that she's pretty relaxed already.
Evening.
Hello, sailor.
What do you play?
Why? What do you want to play?
No, I thought you were a member of the orchestra.
Not me. I don't play second fiddle to anyone.
Oh, sorry. Haven't you got a seat?
One of the best, but I've got nowhere to put it.
Oh, there's a couple there, shall we? Drink?
Oh, my legs are dropping off. What I really need is a screwdriver.
You got a false one,
Have I got a false what?
Leg.
Do they look false?
No. What's all this about a screwdriver, then?
It's a drink, lovey. Vodka and orange juice.
Oh, I see. One large screwdriver, please, and I'll have a brown ale.
I'm starving.
How are you? Perhaps you'd like to join me later on deck for a sandwich.
A sandwich? That's what you call it. What's in it for me, then?
Depends, doesn't it? Corned beef. Bit squashed, isn't they?
Well, I don't leave, dare, for fear of being spotted. As it was, I had to sit through the whole overture to Tannhauser.
You didn't have to sit through on these sandwiches, though, did you?
Well, there was no other way. As it was, a drunk spotted me, came over and proposed.
Marriage?
No, not marriage, no. Something very similar.
Well, that'll have to do. I'm carrying out this test later. I've got a heavy date with a bird.
A date?
Yeah, with a heavy bird. If these really are drugged, they should relax her enough to agree to anything, shouldn't they?
Perhaps I can iron them. How was that one?
Good. But then anything's good to me. I should diet. You diet?
Yeah, I'm on a seafood diet. Seafood and I eat it.
I like you.
I like you. Care for a roll?
Not while I'm eating.
I mean a roll, you know, fish roll.
Oh, great.
Well, look at all that water.
Yeah. And that's only the top of it. What else you got there?
Oh, I've only got one more. But this is a special one, this is. That's got everything in it.
Oh, you've been sitting on this one till last.
Well, not me exactly.
It's like somebody ironed it.
Well, that's a lot.
Beautiful.
Tell me, are you unattached?
No, just sloppily put together, I guess.
Well, how do you feel?
Full.
Yeah, but I mean, don't you feel anything else? Feel like pushing the boat out?
The boat is out, isn't it?
Yeah, no, but I mean, what I mean is the situation getting to you? The ocean, the moonlight, the food? Aren't you getting some other kind of feeling?
I tell you what I am getting.
What?
Wind.
So once again, our overweight hero has guessed wrong. The food is not drugged. And even as the two nonplussed nincompoops are busy wondering what to do next, the girls start disappearing even more rapidly. Now, finally, the liner had reached its exotic destination, and even as it prepared to dock, suddenly, at last, a clue. Piggy finds a card in his pocket. Where did it come from? Who planted it there? He quickly shows it to Charlie, whose brilliant powers of deduction immediately spring into action.
It's a card with writing on it. If you want to know what's happening to the girls, go to this place in the town and show them this card with the password. It's a Chinese restaurant.
Chinese? The White Slaver was Chinese, according to Mrs. Hickstead.
Bumpstead.
Don't you start. What are we supposed to show them, then? This dragon thing on the back, then?
No, that's a sort of trademark. Wait a minute, there's some numbers here, down here. There's probably a code. Just get my code book out. Let's have a look. Now, let us assume, shall we, that letter A represents 1. Now, the numbers down here are 3, 15, 23, 6, 21, 20. That's, that works. That's cowfut. Cowfut? Cowfut, yes. a bit odd, that, really, isn't it? Co-fucked. Probably Chinaman's name.
Could be his address for all we know.
No, the address. That's the address there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, that's where we go then, isn't it? To the Chinese quarter.
Are Piggy and Charlie at last onto something? Who tipped them off? Is the kidnapping of the girls really part of a big Chinese takeaway plan? And has the blind man got his eye on them? Don't miss next week's titillating episode of Band of Slaves.
Ethel,
What is it, Arnold?
there's been Mollykin.
What?
There's talk.
What talk?
There's them as says that you're keeping Fancy Man on side.
Fancy man?
Aye.
Me? Where would I keep a fancy man?
In could what happened? Eh?
Give over, you daft apeth. I don't have no truck with fancy men.
What about Archie Grimshaw?
Archie Grimshaw? That were 12 years since. Oh, shut up and feed dog.
Aye, feet dog, that's all I'm good for, feeding dog. Hey, come on, Towser, wake up your mangy cur. Come on, get up.
Don't call him mangy, you don't like it.
Oh, well, come on, lad, get up. At least Indian's time. Come on, time for your doggy chunks, come on.
He doesn't like doggy chunks. Now, give him something decent.
Decent? Give him something decent. You know what he had yesterday? He had roast beef, he had Yorkshire pudding, he had 2 veg and sherry trifle. And you see him cock up his ears at the sound of sherry trifle. Yon dog's an alcoholic. Hey, listen, Ethel. Things is all right between thee and me, aren't they, lassie?
Oh, you daft cluck. Of course they are. I mean, all this talk about me having a little piece on the side. Where would I find that in Macclethwaite?
You joke. Hey, calm thee sen. Don't take on so, Towser, don't take on. You reckon he's jealous, love?
Don't be daft, he's a dog. Stop scratching, Towser.
There's something funny about yon dog.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I can't quite put my finger on it.
On what?
Well, he's not like other dogs, is he? I mean, I come in yesterday, he was sitting in the front room there in the rocking chair, bald as brass, reading newspaper. Last Christmas Eve, he had his arm round thee.
Oh, well, that were only natural. He'd had too much Tetley's best bitter.
That can account for it. Hey, wait a minute, he's always got his arm round thee. If I go up to Wally Clackhandles of an evening, I don't see their dog sitting on the sofa with his arm round Winnie Clackhandle.
Well, of course not. It's a bloody chihuahua, ain't it?
Yes, I'd forgotten that. Yes, that's quite true, yes. Yes, it's a long way round Winnie Clackhandle for a chihuahua.
Just shut up and have a fag.
No, thanks, no. I'm trying to give 'em up. It's the price of dog food that's doing it. I can't afford it, me son. No, but there's something worrying me about that dog. I don't know what it is. I know what it is. We've never taken him down to the vets to be done, have we? Just a minute, he's smoking.
So what? There's a dog on Esther Ransom says sausages.
Sausages?
Listen, I'm not having any more. He's going down to the vets tomorrow.
I bloody aren't going down to the vets tomorrow.
You bloody are going to... I'm not going to sit here in my own parlour discussing things with a damn dog. He's talking to me.
All right, that's it, I'll admit it. I'm a man. I'm fed up. Absolutely fed up. Crawling about on all fours.
Listen, I knew there was something fishy going on here. Hey, you're Archie Grimshaw.
Hey, so it is.
Archie Grim, you've been living here free for 12 years, man and dog, haven't you? Hey? I've been going out earning your doggy chunks. You've been having your filthy paws round my Ethel.
Don't think it's been easy. 12 years running after sticks, fetch, die for queen, live for country. Been an absolutely bloody dog's life.
Listen, I've been taking you out round park, haven't I? I've had more cold walks than you've had hot dinners.
Haven't had many hot dinners since I've been here, I tell you that.
And you killed the apple tree, didn't you?
All right.
All right, lads, you just sort it out. I'm going to see a man about another man.
Listen, Grimshaw, you're out. You're out of this door tomorrow morning and you can take your rubber ball with you.
I don't think so.
Oh, you don't think so? Then it's down the PDSA for you, lad.
Nay, don't you forget this. I know about you and Winnie Clackhandle.
Winnie Clackhandle?
Yeah. Every Friday night when Ethel's at bingo, who is on mat with smelly old bone? Me. Who is on sofa with Winnie Clackhandle? Thee.
Aye. Maybe I've been a bit hasty. I've been a little hasty with you. Oh, fair dues, Towser. Archie. Listen, all right, you can stay here. You can do what you like in the house, know what I mean? But you must be a dog for neighbours, all right?
Done. Absolutely done, yes. Right. Listen, only on one condition. No more outings to Crufts. We've been there 7 times. The best we've done is got one smelly, rotten, lousy 3rd place.
Listen, you had your belly stroked by Clement Freud, didn't you? Not many of us have had that honour.
All right, then, no jealousies,
No jealousy. Live and let live. Put your little paw there.
All's well that ends well, Cheese. Oh, well, that's nice. Well, I'm going to feed Cat. Tiddles?
Yeah, there, baby doll.
Tonight I'd like, if I may, to relate a joke exactly as it was told to me by our producer. Well, not exactly, because I must be honest, I have to say this, that since he told me this story, he has stopped drying his nail varnish. No, he has also stopped drinking. In fact, these days, he is abstemious to a fault. He even takes soda with a Scotch egg. Well, we all have to be careful. As a matter of fact, I've been on a bit of a health kick myself recently, you know. Filter tip sausages, that sort of thing. I have also been trying a bit of heat therapy. Bought one of those sun ray lamps, you know. I was actually recommended to me by a BBC weather forecaster. It's quite interesting. No, it's quite interesting. You leave it on for 6 minutes, then it turns into a shower. Now, which reminds me, this actually reminds me of an incident I wanted to tell you about, because the other afternoon, I was lying in the bath, thinking to myself, my God, isn't nature wonderful? And I was playing I Spy with the window cleaner. My wife, Anne, was downstairs having one of her sulks, to be honest. You know, I'm afraid we'd had a bit of a row the other morning. The postman had delivered my weekly stack of fan mail, 1 letter, and on the front of the envelope it had got, "To the funniest man on television." My wife had sent it back marked "Not known at this address." I was saying, I was in the bath when all of a sudden the phone rang and it was the producer on the line. He said to me, "Is that you, dear?" I said, "Yes, he said that." He calls me dear. Obviously hasn't read my contract. He was actually ringing up to ask if I want to go on this year's BBC staff outing. Got me every year the BBC organise one of these mystery trips. For £6.50, you get a skateboard and a blindfold. Now, this year, they were trying something a little bit different. An out-of-season day trip to Cleethorpes. So I rather foolishly said I'd go. And, of course, it was a total disaster. Now, things got off to a very shaky start. We went to the local fairground. The producer's secretary came down the helter-skelter too fast and screwed herself into the floor. Then the head of comedy... I'm sorry, you're making up your own jokes. And the head of comedy, who's a little bit on the snooty side, sort of man who eats candy floss with a knife and fork, he refused to go into the Hall of Mirrors because he never sees himself without an appointment. And I can tell you, things weren't any lively when we went on the beach, to be honest. Punch and Judy Puppets were both away at an Equity branch meeting. And in fact, the most exciting moment of the whole trip came when one of the makeup girls decided to do a spot of sunbathing, being a little bit self-conscious about her rather flat figure. Instead of a bikini top, she wore 2 magnifying glasses. And was arrested for making a spectacle of herself. It was during this outing the producer happened to tell me this joke, and it is all about this old Scottish minister up in the Highlands who's one day delivering a sermon to his assembled parishioners on the subject of what to do if you hunger after sex. Keep a tin of biscuits on the bedside table. No, he didn't say that. But nevertheless, it was a very thrilling sermon. This sermon. And after it was all over,
The lady in the audience writing it down. After it was all over, this magnificent sermon, his young curate came up and he said, that was the most brilliant thing, he said, I've ever heard that. He said, how I wish, he said, I had the confidence to deliver, the oratory, to deliver a sermon like that. So the minister takes the curate back into the church, and from a little ledge behind the pulpit, he takes out a glass full of what looks like water, but is in fact gin. And the old minister said, he says, before you get up to speak, he says, son, just take a wee snort of this wee gin, he says, I'll give you all the confidence you need. So the following Sunday, the young curate delivers his sermon, you see, and throughout, he keeps having a little sip of the gin, you see, throughout the sermon. And afterwards, finishes it all. Afterwards, he goes to ask the minister how it went. The old minister said, he said, well, it was very, very vivid, son. Very, very moving, very, very good sermon. He said, just one or two points, one or two teeny-weeny, totty-wee points I'd like to make. He said, first of all, when you finish your sermon, he said, I'd rather you didn't tear your notes up and throw them at the congregation. He said, and when you leave the pulpit, it's better to walk down the steps, not slide down the banister. And he said, the correct phrase is that David slew Goliath. He didn't knock 7 bloody bells out. And finally, remember, he said, that David's sling was full of shot.
I'll tell you a tale of Teeny Todd, aha, aha. A terrible tale of Teeny Todd, aha, aha. His looks were cold and his eyes were grim. When anyone needed a shave and trim, he cut them short, did the terrible Teeny Todd.
We'll tell you a tale of Teeny Todd, aha, aha, aha. The terrible tale of Teeny Todd, aha, aha, aha. He shaved so rapid and closely then, and nobody needed a shave again. He cut them quick, did the terrible Teeny Todd.
My name is Teeny Todd. I look distinctly odd. I'm ever so weedy and terribly teeny, a miniature Sweeney Todd.
The winner love it, am I bake a tasty pie. You're certain to love it, or else you can shove it. It's certainly worth a try.
Oblige you can't forget the best you've ever ate.
You'll find it's inside of the Good Food Guide as well as the Police Gazette. The tale of Teeny Todd, aha, aha. The terrible tale of Teeny Todd, aha, aha.
I ply my trade with speed and ease.
A flick of the wrist, and next one, please.
And short and sharp.
He's a terrible Teeny Todd.
Pussy, pussy, pussy. Yeah, pussy, nice pussy, nice pussy, pussy. Pussy, pussy, pussy.
Pussies love it.
If you're from the butcher's, the meat's too dear. Pussy, pussy, pussy.
Excuse me, this pie is purring.
Oh, that's where it's got to. What can I do for you, darling?
I've come to see you about the postcard.
Postcard?
Yes, the adverts in the newsagents.
Oh, if your French maid seeks new position, that's next door.
Pardon?
I am young widow with double front, professional gentleman accommodated. Are you a professional gentleman, dear?
I'm more of a small businessman. I'm Mr. Todd the barber.
Todd? That's odd. We had a lodger called Todd. And Mr. Sweeney Todd. Are you any relation, Mr. T?
Relation? I'm Teeny Todd.
His brother?
No, his half-brother.
Did he ever mention our little arrangement?
Arrangement?
Yes, our...
Arrangement? Your... Arrangement?
Yeah.
No, he never mentioned that.
Never mind. You and I can be great help to one another. I can send the occasional client up for a shave.
And I can pop a few down to you.
Partner.
We are opening a brand new business. The premises are all complete.
I'm downstairs with the pastry shop.
And I'm up there with a quick chop.
It's certainly a cutthroat business.
The competition's hard to beat. And if I drop a clanger every now and then,
I'm certain we can make ends meet.
We're opening a brand new business. The premises are all en suite. I'm upstairs with a chair, of course.
And I'm down here with the HP sauce.
I'm a tip-top service. So cut along and take a seat. A little bit of lather and a smile and whoops.
I'm certain we can make ends meet.
In my barber shop high in the sky, it's a rollicking trade that I ply. If the customers fret and they're feeling upset, when I get my Gillette, they end up nice as pie. There's no end to the things you can try. Have a short back and sides on the sly. Have a rinse and a rave. Have a shampoo and shave. Or a permanent wave of goodbye.
Seaweed, I love it for lovely pies. Pastry you can trust. Each pie's a nice surprise with plenty of body and crust. Your bits, your pies, and possibly choose your friends. Try the penny ones, could be anyone's rumps or little best ends.
I learned from a barber called Slasher. He shaved with high speed and a leer. First lesson was, what's this here razor? The second was, where's that there ear? Oh!
Send down, oh, send down a body to me. Here's one, it looks a nice plump one to me.
I patronised several barbers, and most of the shaves wasn't bad. But last night in the shop with two sailors was the closest shave I've ever had.
Seaweed, I love it for lovely pies. A thrifty cook am I. No waste, just flaky paste and a finger in every pie. Oh, my grub. McDonald's with more to munch. While I'm labouring, yet a neighbouring, have somebody for lunch.
Got no worries and got no cares. Lots of profit in barbers' chairs, 'cause truculent bristles make succulent bristles and us into millionaires.
Police! Police!
Police!
Police! Inspector Reese of the Kent Police with the constable covered in lather.
Is it kiss me quick at the local Nick and a bit of Alge farm?
Is it years in what for terrible Todd and the watery eye of a warder?
No, it's Turnham Green Police Canteen. They're going to place an order.
So it's toodaloo from the boys in blue in Paddington, Bennington, Putney.
They're ordering pies in catering size and serving them up in chutney. So shut the day, pop the day, and
Get the cheer for the swans, boys, 'cause that's
incredible, terribly edible legend of treaty pub. Oh, I'm so grateful.
Well, that's just about all we have time for tonight, isn't it, Ronnie?
Yes, I'm afraid it is. But before we go, just 3 late items of news. At tonight's old-timers tennis championships at the Albert Hall, Fred Perry's dentures fell out. Then Yaroslav Drobny's dentures fell out twice, and he went on to win by 2-1.
Awkward news from Surrey tonight. The Farnham housewife who's gone on the new mini pill is in the family way. And the Basingstoke woman who's on the new jumbo pill is in everybody's way.
Finally, the economy, and a London hotel today reports that business is so bad that the management is stealing towels from the guests.
Next week we'll be talking to the man who went on an oysters-only diet to improve his sex life, but now he only makes love when there's an hour in the month.
And we'll have the honour of meeting Michael Foote, who has just been appointed chairman of the International Year of the Dishevelled.
Until then, it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him. Good night. Good night.